Good Voch, and welcome to our Gemara Shir. We are now in Maseches Shabbos. Yeah, there we are. Kuf Lamed Beis Amud Aleph. We are towards the bottom of the page. Shir Leilun Nishmas, my father, Menachem ben Akiva. Today's the yort site of the Ema Banim Smecha. You know, Rabbi Socher Shlomo Teichel. Yeah, the Ema Banim Smecha. Mishner Socher. He's yort site tonight. So may this shir me Hashem Yikom Domai Zecher Tzadik Livrocha. May this shir be for his zechus. We are learning about a very, very simple, seemingly simple halacha and very well-known halacha that Milah pushes away Shabbos. If there's Milah on Shabbos, you perform the Bris Milah in the price of, doing the halacha on Shabbos. Bris Milah should not be done on Shabbos, lichoira, because, when you create a wound that's against halacha, but apparently you're allowed to do that when it comes to Bris Milah. Bris Milah trumps away Shabbos, pushes away Shabbos. So we saw a source because it says Bayoim, that's what Rabbi Yochanan said, Bayoim. It says Bayoim Shmini. Bayoim is an extra word. Bayoim afilu b'Shabbos. That was one source. Rav Acha bar Yaakov, that's what we're going to see now, a new opinion for us. Rav Acha bar Yaakov Omar Kro Shmini. Shmini afilu b'Shabbos. It says Bayoim Shmini. Shmini comes to tell you 8th day, even on Shabbos, regardless of whichever day of the week the 8th day falls in, even on Shabbos, you perform the Bris Milah. Okay, that Shmini is not an extra word. Hi Shmini, mi baile lemiuti shvi. You have to tell me, the Torah has to tell me the 8th day, because otherwise I would have thought the 7th day. It's not an extra word. How in my mind I would have imagined that you do Bris Milah on the 8th day, right? In other words, you have to tell me 8th and not 7th. And even if the Avram Avinu it says, Ben Shmonos Yomim, maybe it's an option. How do you know that Dafka Shmini, maybe already on the 7th day? And says the Gemara, no, not true. Shvi, mi Ben Shmonos Yomim, Nafka. No. It says already before, by Avram, it says Ben Shmonos Yomim, right? Ben Shmonos Yomim tells me that this has to be done on the 8th day, not the 7th day. In other words, it says twice number 8. It's very, very easy. When it says Ben Shmoynes Yomim, I know it means Shmoyna and not one day before. So why does the Torah have to tell me again in Parshas Tazria at the beginning, Yom Shmini, comes to tell me Shmini even on Shabbos? It is redundant, seemingly, to tell me even on Shabbos. Like the Gemara, no. Vakati, still I'm not happy with that. Why? Mi boile, I still need both Shminis for other reasons. Chad lemiuti shvi, v'chad lemiuti tshii. One Shmini comes to exclude Shvi, the 7th day. The other times it says Yom Shmini or Shmones Yomim tells me excluding the 9th day, meaning it has to be just on the 8th day, not before, not after. Why? The Imechad, had the Torah only told me on the 8th day once, you know what I would have thought? Hava Amina, I would have thought Shvihu Deloy Matazimne. Of course, on the 7th day, you don't celebrate or you don't perform the Bris Milah because it's too early. Yeah, of course, it's just not time yet. Aval Mishmini Ve'elach Zimnehu. If the Torah would have told me one Shmini, I would have said 8th and onwards. I would have said from the 8th day, like a korban. The similarities between the two, a korban from the 7th day onwards, from the 8th day onwards can bring a korban. Maybe Yom Shmini means from the 8th day, Givaldig, from the 8th day until the boy is 10 years old, he can do the Bris Milah. Now let me get this clear. Of course, but the Eved, a boy that didn't have the meal on the 8th day, because he was sick, because the parents were not from, because he was yellow, because there was no moil, because they were on a trip to Bahamas, whatever that is. But the Maisa, Vaday lechatchila avada, lechatchila, if you can, clearly the biggest, most important mitzvah is punkt on the 8th day. Then we wouldn't have known, because 1/8 would have kind of ruled out earlier than 8th. But maybe from the 8th day onwards is as good as the 8th. Whenever you want, whenever you have a day off, the next Sunday, like in America, right? They want to make the bris always on Sunday because that's when you can get a day off work. That would be very convenient. So the Torah is telling me no. The Torah is basically closing off both options on both ends of the stick. Not before, not later. It has to be on the 8th day. And that's why you need to have the word 8 twice. And yet we remain with no extra word eight to exclude Shabbos. Not like Rav Acha bar Yaakov said, El machvarta ked Rabbi Yochanan. Therefore, it's clear it's like Rabbi Yochanan. Yeah, therefore, what did Rabbi Yochanan say? What we spoke about before. In other words, yesterday we saw Rabbi Yochanan holds of a different gezerah, bayoim vafilu b'Shabbos. That is gezerah lahalacha l'maskana. Bayoim vafilu b'Shabbos. The other attempt of Rav Acha bar Yaakov to say Shmini, we rejected that. Because Shmini is not coming to exclude Shabbos. Shmini is telling me Shmini, the eighth day, not seventh and not ninth. Okay, very good. Tani kavosed Rabbi Yochanan, the Rav Acha bar Yaakov. Another brisa that supports Rabbi Yochanan and rejects Rav Acha bar Yaakov. Again, what did Rabbi Yochanan say? Bayoim afilu b'Shabbos. Rav Acha bar Yaakov said Shmini, and even on Shabbos. Let's see what the brisa says. The brisa is reading the psukim. Shmini yimol, right? He should be circumcised on the eighth day. Shmini afilu b'Shabbos. Okay, Shmini. You should gemalt the baby even on the eighth day. Okay, and the eighth day even on Shabbos. Excuse me. It says in the Torah an opposite pasuk, those who desecrate Shabbos shall die, and Bris Milah as of itself is Chilul Shabbos. If not for the limud, don't worry about that. In other words, Shmini is telling me any other melacha, any other Chilul Shabbos is forbidden, osur. Any other type of wounding, except for, of course, refuah, surgery, that's not right now, that's not the discussion. Any other form of Chilul Shabbos is osur except for Milah. In other words, Milah pushes away Shabbos. Okay. Frek the Gemara, frek the Brisa, how do you know? Oy einoi, or maybe it's the other way. Ela afilu Milah, maybe not. Maybe Chilul Shabbos includes Milah, meaning Milah should be pushed away from Shabbos. Maybe afilu Milah, even Milah, should not be performed in Shabbos and is included in Mechalalei Mosiyumas in the Isurei Shabbos. Maybe the pasuk Shmini Imol, it's always the same psukim, yeah? Maybe the pasuk Shmini Imol has to back off, baby. Excuse the pun, yeah? Maybe the Shmini Imol is except for Shabbos. Maybe there's a baby born on Shabbos. When do you do the Milah? Next Sunday. How do you know? Talmud Loimar, Bayoim afilu b'Shabbos. Oh, so these psukim, Shmini versus Mechalalei, tug of war, it's like the arm wrestle. The Gemara will explain how that works, but we're not sure which one overrides who's stronger than who. Comes the second pasuk, like Rabbi Yochanan, Bayoim afilu b'Shabbos. Yeah, the pasuk Bayoim comes to tell me even on Shabbos we override Shabbos. Milah is stronger than Shabbos. L'maisa, the brisa is quite simple. We're just going to see what's behind the scenes of this brisa now. But the brisa basically is like arm wrestling. Who's stronger than who? Tug of war. Yeah. Yeah. Would we say that Shabbos is stronger than Milah? There was a Havamina. Then we said no. Maybe Milah is stronger than Shabbos. And then we said we're not sure already what's true, what's wrong. So the pasuk Bayon of Rabbi Yochanan, there was a tiebreaker. Yeah. Bayon tells me even on Shabbos pushes away Milah. Excuse me, Milah pushes away Shabbos. I meant to say Milah is done even in the expense of Shabbos. Omar Rove. Now Rove is asking the question. Hi Tana, this Tana, the Tana of Raisa, Mikor mai kanichale, Labasof mai kakashale. At the beginning, mai kanichale. Why was the beginning was so simple to him that Shabbos, that Shmini, the Milah pushes away Shabbos? Why is it that towards the end of the brisa it became difficult? He started shedding doubt in it, and he started thinking maybe Shabbos is stronger than Milah. In other words, that arm wrestling, that business, maybe Milah is stronger, maybe Shabbos is stronger. Obviously, the Tana is not stam, saying words without any deeper meaning. What's behind the Havamina that Shabbos should be stronger or Milah should be stronger? Hachikoma says Rov the Amoira. This is what the brisa meant. He's basically like giving us Pirush Rashi, so to speak, on the brisa. Shmini Yimar Lefila b'Shabbos. At the beginning, the first initial reading of the psukim Shmini Yimar, even on Shabbos, the Milah should push away Shabbos. Umani mekayim mechalel amos yumas b'shar melochos chutz mimila. It says if somebody mechalel Shabbos he should die, he should stone the guy. B'shar melochos chutz mimila. Any other melocha is not allowed. Mila is okay to be done on Shabbos. Aval mila dachya. Yeah, excuse me. Chutz mila aval mila dachya. Right? Aval mila dachya, meaning at the end we wanted to say that mila pushes away Shabbos. Mila is stronger than Shabbos. Why did we think at the beginning that Mila is stronger than Shabbos? Misvore. Before we came to the second pasuk of Bayon. My timer. That's the reason. Here we're going to have a Kal V'chomer. This Kal V'chomer, don't faint. There's basically now going to be a list of 4 mitzvahs, one on top of the other. Very pashut. That's a Kal V'chomer. Umat tzaraas. There's one mitzvah here that we're discussing called tzaraas. Why is tzaraas a mitzvah? Well, there's an issur regarding tzaraas, hishomer b'neged tzaraas. It says about tzaraas, hishomer. Hishomer in English means beware. Whenever the Torah says hishomer, pen, or lav, even though it doesn't say don't, the word hishomer or the word pen, which means lest in English, also denote a lav. So hishomer, when the Torah tells you hishomer, beware, be careful, although it sounds positive, really it's a lav. It's a prohibition to go in Makis, amongst others. So now it says, Hishomer b'nega tzaraas me'od. What does it mean? It means as follows. Let's say a person sees chas v'shalom tzaraas. Oy vay vay, rachmana litzlan. He sees a white spot. Are you serious? Oh, yeah. You know what a process that is? Weeks, if not months, of a whole a complicated halachic process. He's not interested in that. You know what the guy wants to do? Very simple. To cut off the tzaraas. A little bit painful, but worth it. He's going to take a knife and just, shave off that white spot, the tzaraas, and put the bandage. And he has no tzaraas. Halachic, there's no tzaraas. Says the Torah, no. Torah's wagging its finger, saying no. You're not allowed to do that, and that's a terrible issur. The person will get malchus if he does that. Yeah, if he cuts away the tzaraas. Okay. So now, with that in mind, let's now read the following. Umat tzaraas shedoicho es ha'avoida, which means, what's tzaraas doicho avoida? Let's say Kohanim or Israelim comes to, let's say, Korban Pesach. In Korban Pesach, we know, for example, usually it applies to Pesach, normally, there's a concept called Tuma Hutra B'tzibur. If most people are Tomeh, then basically you continue with the avoida even B'tuma. Right? Yeah. If most people Tmei Meis, not the Yechidim, that's Pesach Sheni Yechidim. If, let's say, 60% of the population, Kohanim, Israel, there's many, many details about it in Pesach, it's a big sugya. Generally speaking, if most people are Tomeh, Tuma Hutra B'tzibur, Tuma Hutra D'chuya, there's a question. But Tuma, basically, if most people are Tomeh, the show must go on, and we say that you bring the Korban Pesach B'tuma. Okay? However, when it comes to tzaraas, we say no. Zoven Mitzorim, no. Let's say most people are Mitzoira, in theory, not so common, but let's say there was a huge Lashon Hara wave of Lashon Hara, in WhatsApp or something, email oleinu, in the media, and everyone spoke Lashon Hara, and everyone got tzaraas. Then we don't say the show must go on, but basically the tzaraas pushes away the avodah, which means people will not bring Korban Pesach this year. Maybe Pesach Sheni, that's another question. I'm not even sure about that, but that's another shaila. But the Ma'aseh, the tzaraas pushes away the avodah. So tzaraas, let's build ourselves a hierarchy, a totem pole. So tzaraas and the severity of tzaraas, we don't say to everyone, guys, just cut the tzaraas and do the avodah. Yeah, let's be halachic and whisper in their ear, you know what? It's true. Normally, you're not allowed to cut off the tzaraas. Terrible. But hey, these are very, very, dire circumstances. The Korban Pesach, what happens if you don't bring Korban Pesach? It's a chorus. It's one of the only 2 mitzvahs to say that chayav chorus, Milah and Pesach. You're not Jewish if you don't bring Korban Pesach in times of Beis Mikdash. In Beis Mikdash times, even the, so to speak, almost secular people would come to bring Korban Pesach. No, seriously, like today's Seder night. So now, basically, maybe halacha should tell them, let's be flexible, cut off the tzaraas, so you're not mitzvah, put a little bandage if you want, band-aid, okay, and do the avodah. We don't do that. We push away avodah, choshev avodah, based on mikdash of the whole nation, because of tzaraas. So we're beginning to have tzaraas I didn't have time to print it. You're gonna get it without any printed page. Tzaraas is above avoida. Okay, we proved it loud and clear. And yet the avoida doiches Shabbos. Tzaraas is on top. Below tzaraas is avoda. Right? Tzaraas versus avoda. Tzaraas stays. Don't touch your tzaraas. You're going to go now through a whole process of tzaraas. What about Korban Pesach? Push it away. Now avoida, which is below tzaraas, doiches Shabbos. What do you mean avoida doiches Shabbos? We all daven Musaf. Your son gave a very nice Musaf today. Avoid the Dochis Shabbos, Korbanos. You know how many Averis you do when you bring a Korban? Tons. Shchita, burning, everything, right? Afshota, you name it. And it's all there. You do avoid of Tmidim and Musafim, and sometimes even Yom Tov that comes on Shabbos, right? So avoida pushes away Shabbos. So let's repeat. Tzaraas is above where? Tzaraas is above avoida. And avoida is above Shabbos. Shabbos is in the bottom of the Shabbos. Yeah. Tzaraas above avoida. Avoida above Shabbos. Shabbos is in the bottom of the list. Where's Milah? Milah doicha oisa. Milah is on top of the list. Why? Because believe it or not, what happens when a baby has tzaraas on the place of the Milah? He was born with tzaraas, that would happen. And halachas of tzaraas apply to babies, believe it or not. And those halachas of tzaraas basically mean that you do the bris milah even though you're cutting the tzaraas. Maybe that's not allowed. You're not allowed to cut it. You can't cut tzaraas even for babies. Don't tell me they can do tshuva. We're not learning halacha, ashkaf and musar. Yeah, the halacha is that you don't cut off tzaraas from kids, but from the place of the milah, from the foreskin, you do. So where's milah? Milah moved to the top of the list because milah. We're going to learn later the sources for that. Milah does push away tzaraas. You cut the milah with a bracha, with it everything. You do pri and metzisa, and the whole milah. You cut the tzaraas, put it in the ground, the milah, and what? Because milah is above of tzaraas. Aha. So let's see the cheshbon. Shabbos shenidches mipnei avoda. Ironically, Shabbos Kodesh in this case is bottom of the list. It's pushed away because of avoda. Enodin shetem milah doicha oisa. So Milah pushes away Shabbos. Let's review. It's so easy. Let's see the New World Order. We always think Shabbos is most important, and believe me, it is. But look what's going on here. Milah pushes away tzaraas, meaning an 8 days old baby that has a nice little white spot, actually not so nice, on the very strategic place. You cut it from Milah. So Milah pushes away the prohibition of cutting tzaraas. Tzaraas is the top of avoda because let's say it's Pesach or any other time, the Kohen, the Yisrael doesn't just move away the tzaraas and just let the avoda show go on. No, Milah tzaraas stays. Let the tzaraas stay. Let him go through the entire painful process, and goodbye to the korbanos. Okay, now avoda, which is the bottom below everybody, he's above Shabbos because avoda pushes away Shabbos. You do avoda on Shabbos. So look at that. Funnily enough, Milah is on the top of the list, and Shabbos is the bottom of the list. Bingo. So even without any psukim, I mean, the Gemara did allege it to a pasuk, but not the final pasuk. We see that at the end of the day, according to that logic, Milah surely pushes Shabbos. A is higher than B, higher than C, higher than D. So A is on the top. Milah is on top of the pyramid. So Milah should push away Shabbos. That's what we do today, but that's in the Havamina Pashut. But the Gemara did not stay with that, right? The Gemara, that was one part of the arm wrestling, right? Later on, the Gemara says maybe no, maybe really Shabbos is stronger than Milah. Why? My Eino de Koma. What's the other way? What is the logic that tells me that Shabbos is stronger than Milah? Hadar Omar, later on, the Brisa comes with a different insight. How do you know that tzaraas is really more severe than Shabbos, than everybody else, except for Milah? First of all, Shabbos, if you take Shabbos out of that specific, kind of hierarchy of this pyramid, at the end of the day, Shabbos has many more onshin v'azoros, right? Shabbos, we're warned about Shabbos many times. There are many punishments regarding Shabbos, many details. Shabbos is a very, very big thing. Umimai, what about your totem pole? Lamaisa, in this specific, who pushes who? Shabbos seems to be, funnily, ironically, at the bottom of the list. Even that I'm going to negate. Umimai mishum dechamira tzarasi, dilma mishum gavru deloi chazi, which means one of the key points in that, in that ripple effect here of one pushing the other, or this chain reaction, one of the points was that really tzaraas is stronger than avoida, right? Tzaraas is stronger than avoida because look, it's Erev Pesach. Oh, most people got tzaraas. And what do we say? Don't cut off your tzaraas. You think you can cut off your tzaraas and start the avoida of Pesach, of Korban Pesach? No, stay with your tzaraas and don't do the avoida. It's not necessarily reflecting the fact, says the Gemara now, in its upon second thought, by second thought we say no. That tzaraas is more chomor. Maybe gavra loy chazi. Maybe the person, let's say you cut off the tzaraas, it just won't help you. You think that if the person will cut off the tzaraas, put a band-aid, everything will be good. No. At the end of the day, he'll still be what? Still need tvila. He'll still be mechusar, still be tvul yoim. And we'll only be able to do the avodah tomorrow. Tomorrow's too late. That's the point. In other words, if he got tzaraas today, enechanami could be that in theory, maybe avodah is stronger than tzaraas. It's just that tzaraas, elamai, it won't help you. Maybe I would have cut off the tzaraas halachically. It just won't help. Because if you cut off tzaraas, it means he becomes tohar now, needs to go to the mikveh, then to go tonight, only the day later is too late. He can't bring Korban Pesach anymore. So that broke the whole pyramid, the whole hierarchy. Umani mekayim shminim oil chutz m'Shabbos. So according to the new understanding, I would say the other way around. Shabbos is stronger than Milah, right? Because we killed this whole hierarchy business in the middle by making tzaraas less choshuv. Milah may be more choshuv than tzaraas. Doesn't mean, because Milah does push tzaraas, that's true, but it doesn't mean that tzaraas is stronger than avodah and Shabbos. We broke it to two pieces, 2 and 2. They just don't compete. They don't compete. They don't compete both ways, and therefore Talmud lo yamar b'yom afilu b'Shabbos. Because that seesaw, that arm wrestling is not clear. I can look at it the two ways. Who is stronger than who is not clear. Therefore, we consult with who? With the Heilige Torah. It says, Bayom afil b'Shabbos, back to the original drasha of Rabbi Yochanan. Bayom Hashmini, Bayom is an extra word. Just say Bashmini, right? Bayom afil b'Shabbos. Very good. And that's a maskana, my friend. The reason why there was a bris, I'm sure there were many bris in this Shabbos morning all over the world in Klal Yisrael. Why? Because it says Bayom Hashmini, Bayom Afilu b'Shabbos. That's what you can remember from here. Weiter. A few more minutes.
Yeah. Quick question. So let's say baby's yellow and they have to push it off. Do they then?
Okay. So to answer your question, yes, I'm just answering. Someone's question here. Achosh V'Yid was asking a question. We see from the words Bayom Hashmini on the 8th day. Even if the 8th day happens to be on Shabbos. And Enochinami, if it's not on the 8th day, the baby was yellow and the Bris Milah was postponed, then you don't do it on Shabbos. True, you don't do it on Shabbos. If it's postponed, you don't do it on Shabbos. Tono bonon, Milah doiches tzaraas. One of the items we mentioned before, so to speak, one of the details in that four-faceted Kal V'chomer was that Milah pushes away tzaraas, meaning what? If you have Milah, the baby has tzaraas on the orla, on the foreskin, you do cut the foreskin, even though it's otherwise the oraisa. Milah pushes away the prohibition of cutting tzaraas. Ben bizmana, ben sheloi bizmana. As opposed to Shabbos, when it comes to Milah, even if the Milah is not done on time, the baby was yellow. There's a few issues. He was yellow and tzaraas. Now, let's say the baby is now 20 days old. And now he's healed from his jaundice, Baruch Hashem, but he still has tzaraas. What do you do? Yes, you do the Milah, even shaloi bizmana, on the expense of cutting tzaraas. Yes, that's a chiddush. In that way, tzaraas is stronger than Shabbos. Whether the Milah is on time or not on time, the Milah pushes away Shabbos. Now, tzaraas. Pushes away tzaraas, and you cut the baby's part, even there is tzaraas there. Yom Tov ein adochel bizmana bilvad. Comes to Yom Tov, it's different. Milah, Yom Tov, it's only doicha in the right time. In other words, let's say Milah is against Yom Tov or Shabbos, then we say no, only bizmana. But if it's not bizmana, it doesn't push away Shabbos or Yom Tov. I'm not sure what says here Yom Tov and not Shabbos. L'chor, it's the same. Yom Tov and Shabbos are not pushed only if it's bizmana. That we'll discuss tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem. Now, regarding the Milah that pushes away tzaraas, how do you know? You have two mitzvahs, right? Milah versus not cutting tzaraas. Yeah, aseh, lo ta'aseh. How do you know? One pushes away the other. The Tonu Rabbanon. Here we have a similar structure to the previous brisa. It says, Yimol b'sar orlosoi, cut off the flesh of the oral of the foreskin. The afal pi she'esham beheres, yokutz. Even though there's beheres is one of the four shades of white. Just an example. Any shade of white that's there, that's within the range of tzaraas, yakutz. Perform the bris milah, no hard feelings. The baby is not a mitzvah. I mean, he will not be a mitzvah because he cutting off his tzaraas, no problem. Yomani mekayim, he shomer b'nega tzaraas. It says he's not supposed to. He shomer, beware and keep the nega tzaraas. Don't cut it. B'shal mekoymus. Putz mimila, very nice. All other parts of the body has many parts, you know. If he has tzaraas on his nose, on his toe, on his finger, on his ear, on his forehead, wherever, you don't cut it. Any other place in the body of the baby, boy, girl, man, woman, tzaraas applies to everybody. You don't cut it off, except for Milah. Milah pushes away the cutting, and you do cut in that's the beheres in order to perform Milah. Oy eino ela afilu Milah. Or maybe not. Maybe no. Maybe really you don't cut milah, and the prohibition of Hishomer includes milah. Hands off. Don't touch the tzaraas, even if it's in the milah place. Hey, I got to do bris milah. How will I fulfill the mitzvah of milah? Wait. Savlanut. Be patient. As long as there's no beheres, do the bris milah. Wait until the baby becomes tohor. Right? Whatever the process is by baby, I'm not sure what goes on there, but once it doesn't have tzaraas anymore, then do the milah. Maybe that's the right way to look at it. Talmud Loimar. So we're not sure anymore. Who's stronger than who? Again, it's like this arm wrestling again. Is it tzaraas or milah? Which one's stronger? Talmud Loimar. Boso. There's an extra word. Imal b'sar orlosoi. That's mamish an extra word. You said imal orlosoi, right? Take off the foreskin. Why do you have to say the flesh of the foreskin? Like I don't know what the foreskin is. Oh, comes and tells me, no, even if there's beheres, even if there's a white spot over there, you still do the milah and you cut away the beheres. Why was it at the beginning so simple to him that milah is stronger? Then he started shedding down. Kashalei, maybe milah is stronger. Excuse me, the maybe tzaraas is stronger, and you don't do the milah of tzaraas. These are the pros and cons here. Again, looking behind the scenes of the brisa. At the beginning, we say milah is stronger. Milah. Cut the beheres. I don't care about the beheres. Yeah, you want to keep the tzaraas? Great. Any other body part. Right? The first part of the arm wrestling, as we call it, of the war, is milah stronger than tzaraas. That's the first assumption, my time. Again, a kal v'chomer, the asim a kal v'chomer. We're bringing it from a kal v'chomer, similar to be built on what we said before. Umash Shabbos chamura. We always know Shabbos. If we're not brainwashed otherwise, Shabbos is always looked at as the most, severe mitzvah. We already have established before, right? The milah is stronger than Shabbos, and milah bisman of a normal baby without cesarean. We know milah pushes away Shabbos, tzaraas, lokol sheken, avada, very good. If milah is strong enough to push away Shabbos, it's clearly strong enough to push away tzaraas. Very simple kal v'chomer, easy, right? Milah is stronger than Shabbos. Of course, it's stronger than tzaraas. What was the other side then? Why would you think all of a sudden otherwise that maybe tzaraas is stronger than milah? We changed our minds, possibly, potentially. How do you know that Shabbos is the most severe mitzvah? Who told you Shabbos is number one? Maybe tzaraas is stronger than Shabbos in a way. Why? Because again, with avodah, she can doiches avodah, doiches Shabbos. As was the Havamina before, remember the avodah, it was a game changer. Tzaraas is stronger than avodah, and avodah is stronger than Shabbos. So in that respect, tzaraas is more than Shabbos. It's the same kal v'chomer said before, but the other way around. We play with it the other way around. Talmud Loimer Boso v'afel pi shesham be'eres. That's it. So because we have two ways, we're not sure who's stronger than who. Maskona is Boso, even with beheres, yimo b'sar losoi. You should do the orla even with the boso. Even with the boso, even if the boso is beheres, Milah pushes away the beheres. Very good. Shkoyach, thank you so much for coming. Mitzvah Shabbos, not simple to come. Thank you very much. Atzlocha V'rocha. Thank you to Torah anytime. Beautiful, amazing, choshev, revolutionary website. Donate to Torah anytime. Atzlocha V'rocha. Shkoyach.